Okay, so hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Fortnite Mythbusters. We're currently on episode 75, and we're getting pretty close to 100. I remember doing episode 50 not too long ago. Yesterday, we hit 500,000 subscribers, and all of you guys are asking, where's the face reveal? I wanted to let you guys know in this video that it will be coming out later this week, probably Wednesday, but it is coming, and I just want to say a massive thank you for all of the support and helping me reach this goal. Just like always, if you do have a myth you would like me to test in the next or future episodes of the Fortnite Mythbusters, make sure to go down in the comment section down below and drop a comment of a myth for a pretty good chance to be featured. Also guys, I'm gonna set a like goal for today's video. Let's see if we could smash 15,000 likes. That would be unreal, and the support really means a lot. And at any moment, if you do enjoy my content and you would like to see more by me, feel free to subscribe and also turn on those post notifications to never miss another Fortnite Mythbusters episode. But without further ado, let's get right on into today's video. Going straight into the first myth. The first myth is, do balloons still work in moisty palms if you crouch into a prop while wearing one of the balloons? Now, balloons have not been in the regular battle royale for quite a while, so I'm pretty sure not a lot of people really know about these, but there used to be an item in game. You could put balloons on your back and it will actually make you float up into the air, jump extra high, but you would press crouch, or for me, left control, whatever button crouches, and it will get rid of the balloons. So if you do have balloons on your back, what happens when you're in moisty palm and you do press crouch? When I tried this out, surprisingly, you could put 1 to 2 balloons on and then turn into a prop immediately, and it will not get rid of the balloons. You will actually turn into a prop and eventually float away if you do become light enough, I guess. If you jump, you go extra high, just like normal with balloons, but unfortunately in midair, you have to turn out of prop form first before you can get rid of the balloons. Going into the next myth is, what happens when you crouch in moisty palm while invisible from a shadow bomb? Now, the shadow bomb has a massive effect on your gameplay. I mean, you cannot shoot, you cannot build. All what you can basically do is jump, and you're kind of invisible whenever you are in this shadow form. So when you go inside of moisty palms, will you become like maybe an invisible prop? Will you even be able to come into a prop, or what really happens? Surprisingly, when you are invisible and you do walk inside of the rift zone for moisty palms and you do crouch while you have a shadow bomb, of course, it will automatically remove the shadow bomb effect. You will immediately turn into a prop, and if you get rid of the prop immediately, it just totally cancels out the shadow bomb. Unfortunately, this is also the same case for if you are invisible and you crouch and then walk into the rift zone. It'll immediately get rid of the shadow bomb as well, which is very unfortunate. Very similar to the last myth, but hopefully a different outcome. This myth is, what happens when you crouch in moisty palms while wearing a bush? The bush is actually really underrated, and it's kind of overpowered. I mean, you take no damage by the first bullet, so you can get hit by a heavy sniper and take literally no damage at all if you're wearing a bush. In moisty palms, a lot of people saying the bush is a little bit more overpowered as well, but when I did try this out in game, unfortunately, if you are crouched, if you do equip the bush and then crouch while inside of the rift zone, it'll automatically get rid of the bush, and you won't really have it anymore. I mean, you'll turn into a prop. It's very similar to the last myth regarding the shadow bomb. They must have changed this because I did have another friend who did try this out, and I was told that the bush was actually able to stay on your character and you were able to crouch, but I guess they may have changed it within the latest update, maybe patch that. I don't know, I'm not too sure. Going into the next myth, is, if you stick a ton of clingers onto a player and they walk into Greasy Grove during the taco time dance and the clingers explode, will it do enough damage to kill them? The timing on this myth was actually pretty difficult to do, but I was able to time it perfectly. That way I stuck a couple of clingers onto my main account. That way when they do explode, it would obviously kill me. Clingers do like 75-100 damage each directly, so at least 1 or 2 should definitely kill a player with 100 HP. The Greasy Grove taco time dance, whenever you're dancing and say you're low on the regular HP bar, it will actually heal you all the way up to just about 100 very quickly. But surprisingly, either way, when you are in Greasy Grove and the taco time dance is happening, you will still regain the HP, but you will not take any damage to anything. I mean, you could walk in front of a trap, you could have clingers stuck on top of you, miniguns shot at you, and you will not take any damage until the dance is finally over. So overall, it's good to know when you are in Greasy Grove during this dance, you are in fact invincible. Going into the next myth is, can you rocket ride the batarang projectile, or I guess grenade, whatever you guys like to call it. When I tried this out, it was extremely difficult to do, and I'm not really expecting much because obviously the Batarangs, they really don't have their own hitbox. The reason why you're able to ride a rocket and quote-unquote rocket ride is because the rocket has its own hitbox, which allows your player to kind of stand on top of it while it moves. Unfortunately, in-game, I mean, I'm pretty good at rocket riding other players, so the fact that I was not able to rocket ride myself with the Batarang was pretty unfortunate and leaves me to believe that it's really not possible. I mean, the Batarang, it doesn't have a hitbox in the first place, and it moves really fast for the players, so I doubt you would be able to rocket ride it either way. Going into the next myth, the next myth is what happens when two Batarangs collide in air with each other. Now, the Batarangs, they're kind of known to stake onto objects, and whenever someone comes by them, it'll explode, and I've died to this a couple times. I'm not gonna lie, these are a little bit frustrating. When I tried this out, this was actually extremely difficult to do, to time it perfectly so the Batarangs would collide in midair at literally the exact same time, but I'm pretty sure I got it down. I mean, when they did collide in midair, surprisingly, they literally stuck to each other, which really doesn't make any sense. I did something very similar way back, maybe on like episode 40 or 30 or something, but when I tried this out with clingers, the clingers would not stick onto each other, but they're kind of like the exact same thing as these Batarangs. But overall, it was really cool when they do make contact with each other in midair as well. They make this really cool noise, and of course, if you do hit them, they will both explode. To be honest, I was not expecting this to happen, so I'm pretty surprised. Going into the next myth, is if you have redeploy gliders, will they get used up while inside of Gotham City when you redeploy your gliders? Like I said earlier, the Rift Zone for Gotham City is basically able to redeploy your gliders really whenever you want, so it's kind of difficult to take any fall damage at all. Fortunately, in-game, if you do have the one case where you have redeploy gliders, maybe in playground or even creative mode, and you do redeploy inside of Gotham City, your redeploys will not get used up, and you can basically redeploy as many times as you want. But as soon as you land outside of the Rift Zone and then you build up another platform and jump off, your redeploys will end up being used like normal. Going into the next myth is what happens when you use a normal grappler in Gotham City. With the Batman Fortnite collab, they actually added a brand new grappler in. It's called the grappler or something. I don't even know. They totally misspelled grappler. I'm just kidding about that joke, by the way. But this grappler has an insane range, and whenever you do grapple onto something, it'll launch you up into the air and automatically redeploy a glider for you in a Batman theme, which allows you to take no fall damage or anything. So what happens when you do use a regular grappler, but this time inside of Gotham City? Will it pull out your glider? Will you die to fall damage? What really happens? When I did test this out, be careful using a regular grappler inside of Gotham City because you will take fall damage. You will die if you do drop from a high enough place, and your glider won't automatically redeploy like how it does with the Batman grappler. Luckily though, the Rift Zone inside of Gotham City allows you to pull out a glider basically whenever you really want, so no need to really worry about that. But a lot of people were requesting this myth, so I had to test it out. Going into the next myth is what happens when you crouch on the back of a quad crusher while inside of MOISTY palms? Will you turn into a prop? This is actually a really good myth, because whenever you crouch inside of MOISTY palms, you'll obviously turn into a prop. So on a quad crusher, if you could crouch and maybe not turn into a prop, it might be a new meta if those ever do get added back into the game. Unfortunately, I was kind of hoping this would work, but we haven't had quad crushers in the game for such a long time, or really any mobility, that all of us forgot that you are not able to crouch while on the back of these. Whenever you do press crouch, it'll obviously put you into the front seat, so I tried to go above an extra step, change my keybind to crouch to V, and it still wouldn't work. No matter what, you unfortunately are not able to crouch well on the back of a quad crusher or really any vehicle that I tested, which leads me to believe that they may have done this on purpose, kind of thinking that they were gonna add a Rift Zone or something similar to this. Jumping straight into the next myth is, will you take fall damage as a prop in MOISTY palms? In a lot of creative prop maps, you will not take any fall damage at all. So did they move this same concept over into the regular battle royale game in MOISTY palms, since you could transform it into any prop? Unfortunately though, if you ever are within MOISTY palms and you're kind of high enough where you can take fall damage or even die due to fall, you might want to find a safer way down, because you end up will die and you will take damage. It's really not something to do. I mean, being a prop just kind of changes your visibility, your form, your hitbox even, I believe, but it will not protect you from any falls or anything like that, unfortunately. Anyways, that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you are new to the channel. If you do have a myth you would like me to test, make sure to go down in the comment section down below and drop a comment of that myth. Also, thank you guys so much for 500,000 subscribers. Once again, face reveal will be this week, and I will see you guys next time.